Good afternoon all, and welcome to Charlie Brown's Garden Centre. This is going to be one of our regular haunts for the next probably next year or so. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to be doing a combination of films. It will be there'll be one-offs on particular subjects, and there'll also be we'll be following the different things what are growing at different times of the year, I'm sorry, cars just come in. Just look at these, aren't these beautiful, these dahlias? Just shows you it can be grown in pots quite happily. You know what, it's amazing what you can find in the garden centre when you're actually paying attention. Sometimes we often walk through these places and we just don't see anything. I'm just looking at the jasmines in that here. Jasmines are lovely. We had winter jasmines in our garden, but the problem is if you've got a dog, then you've got to be careful, because if your dog's anything like ours, it chews onto the stems, and what we were finding is that our dog was being sick, and it was basically because she was getting poisoned from the jasmine. So just be careful, just be aware of that. Unfortunately, with growing in your garden, a lot of the plants are poisonous to pets. When we hear that word poisonous, we sometimes assume that it's going to kill it, but that's not necessarily the truth. It can kill in some cases. It can make them really ill, or it can have severe effects, like it can affect the organs of the animals. So you need to be aware of these things, but most of the time you'll be okay. We've got numerous plants in our garden which are poisonous for pets. Our dog's nearly 6 years old, and she's all right. But if you have a dog which is prone to chewing onto one of these plants which is really poisonous, then you must, be aware of that and take precautions. Right, just gone a bit further, and I'm just looking at clematises. Beautiful plant to have. They come out at 2 times of the year generally. You've got a early spring, and then you've got them that come out later into the summer, and then they flower for a good few weeks. We've got one at home. From a distance it can look white, but it's actually a very pale, I don't know what colour, it's like a pinky blue. But anyway, lovely plants. You hear all these stories about that you must cover the base over with stones and that. We haven't done this with ours. Ours have gone into the soil against a wooden fence, and despite the dog keep digging holes around the roots, they seem to survive. We just keep covering it up. Charlie Brown's nursery has got some lovely collection of shrubs. Throughout the year you can see that over here they've got all the bedding plants, but there's all sorts of plants throughout the year, and it's always well stocked up. And I'm just looking over here, and you can see over there we've got perennials, we've got roses, we've got herbs, and despite you can come any time of the year, and there's always something interesting to look at. Just looking at the strawberries, what they're selling here, and these will make lovely plants. You can see we've got lots of runners here. They'll all make potential new plants. So in fact, if you bought a set of 6 here, which has been sold in, at this time of the year you could probably end up with 20 plants or more. If you nurtured these, put them into pots and gave them a good water, use the wire method that I've shown you before. I'm just having a look at I'm just seeing that they're in 4-inch pots. You can get 6 for £10 here. Varieties I can see Alice, Florence, Pegasus, Cambridge Favourite, Symphony. Basically they've got a few of every variety, to be honest. Well, not every variety, but quite a few. So just having a look, see if there's anything that I haven't got. If you wish to have early strawberries, then you've got Hanoi, Christine, and then my favourites are El Santas. And then this year I've moved on to Corona, so there's quite a few here to get on with. I'm just having a quick peep at the apples, and you know, this time of the year is our ideal time to visit your garden centre and just see what the difference is in varieties. I've never really took much notice before, but since I've met Nigel, it's opened my eyes up. And I'm just looking, and can you see over here, these bright red ones? And then obviously you've got some which are like a green, some of which are sort of greeny red, all different. Really fascinating, really. And what's interesting to see that even apple trees at this size are growing fine in these buckets, and looking at them, some of them have got 20 or 30 apples on, so there's hope for us all. Wow, just look at all these cacti. It's not something I've really took much notice of before, but just look at all the shapes, all the forms now. It really quite intricate. Amazing. Hiya.
Oh, my body.
Again, folks, just look at all these shapes and that. Oh, amazing, you know. Nature is just amazing. It just throws so many colours and natural geometrical shapes. It's just hard to believe. The colours, the leaves on this. These are all indoor plants, by the way. Beautiful.